For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I wish I could bring your children back.
You gave them peace. For that, for all you have done, you have our thanks. I know you face trials ahead, but when it is time, you will not face them alone. We will stand with you as best we can. Until then, go in peace. And thank you.
Okay, chat. I need to tell the boy goodnight. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Okay, so I think we can just waypoint out of here. So rather than doing that, let's go to camp and see what we can tell Asterion. Streamer gone, better bobble, yeah. There he is, he's over there. Alright, well, he didn't explode yet. I really misunderstood. I thought using the staff would, you know, it was gonna pop all the vampire spawn. But I was under the impression that Asterion and his siblings were vampire spawn. So I was like accepting the fact that I was gonna lose him, but this is, you know, not the playthrough where he's in my main group. But I thought it was gonna take out all the other evil vampires too. Like that was the choice.
Yes.
Cazador was preparing a dark ritual, but it's over now and he's dead now.
What do you mean, dead? How? Why?
I killed him. You're free.
Free? I'm not free. I'm trapped. I'll never be anything but a spawn now. You've sentenced me to an eternity in darkness.
I don't understand.
Tell me honestly, did you kill him for my sake or to stop me completing the ritual myself?
Okay, I guess I didn't talk to Asterion enough. I did not understand he wanted to complete the ritual. One sec. Let's see. Okay.
Marching.
Nothing to see here, just casting guidance. Don't mind me. Quick save. No, Asterion, I did it for you. I want you to be safe. Ooh!
I do believe you. I know you only did what you thought was best for me. And who knows, maybe this is what's best. The kind of power that ritual offered could ruin a person. Even me.
I'll let him do it next playthrough, chat.
Gods, I would have liked to kill him, though.
You should know Cazador turned to the victims that you brought him into spawn, and they were sacrifices for the ritual.
They were alive. All this time, they were just hidden under the palace. Hells. After 2 centuries, Cazador still had new horrors.
Some of them were down there for 200 years in that cage just being hungry?
The poor wretches.
I ended their suffering.
That was a kindness. I think. it's hard to know, really.
His tone of voice.
Suppose they're at peace. If nothing else. Or whatever passes for peace these days. Still, this will take some getting used to. Cazador being gone. I just need some time to let it sink in. To figure out what it means now that he's gone.
I love when I walked out to him. I was like, Cazador's dead. He's like, what? How? Why? All right, take all the time you need.
Thank you. And thank you for what you did. I thought Cazador's story would end with more of a bang than a whimper, but... well, you did end it. I'm grateful.
Okay, interesting.
Path lies before me.
Okay, so that's done. Another short rest.
Later.
And let's see. Cazador's Dungeon, Grey Harbor Docks. I think Worm's Crossing had the next place that we need to go. It was a whimper. He was easy to kill, actually. To be fair, he opened up with a, like, 5d10 damage chain lightning that was going to hit the whole party. That would have been a nasty way to start a fight with that much damage on us. However, we counterspelled it and said no. But if that had gone through, oh my god, that would have been gross. But yeah, if you have access to the daylight spell and you're fighting a vampire, oh my god. I think it gives them disadvantage on like everything and they take 20 damage a turn. So good. Wait, I've never been in that building. What is that?
Listen, it's got private rooms, music, and all-round pleasant folks from what I've...
Frago's Flophouse.
Confuses me for a member of...
Traveler Griska.
Probably break it.
Word to the wise. Give that ill-mate a temple a wide berth. Rude buggers. Certainly not bringing my trade there again.
To be fair, the High Priest just died.
Does that excuse being rude? Excluding folk? Come off it. They wouldn't let me in. Spouted some tripe about my sort and absolutist murderers. I only wanted to sit down a minute.
My sword. Chat, that reminds me of something. Okay, real quick. Remnant 2. Remnant 2 is the game I played most recently before this one. I really enjoyed it. And at the beginning, you start off. Now, you can make your character look like anything. Mine was like it was a white guy. And he maybe had a little bit less muscle than me. You know, standard stuff. And at the beginning, you're with your friend, and your friend is, I think it's always the same character. It's a young black woman, and she is talking about this refuge that you're trying to find. Also, why is Karlach in her freaking underwear again? Gale's not in his underwear. Karlach, every time I leave camp, Karlach's back in her underwear. Anyway, so she's talking about this camp you're trying to find at the beginning of Remnant 2. And she mentioned that she's like, yeah, there's all these people there, and they got food, and they got water, and it's safe, and it's run by this old white guy. And she mentions, like, old white guy maybe 2 or 3 times. And you're only with her in the tutorial. So, like, 10 minutes? And then, you know, she becomes like an NPC in town, and you go off and do her own thing, and you're fighting monsters the rest of the game. Now, I did my video where I was like, is it worth it, Remnant 2? And someone replied to it, and they're like, I couldn't deal with this game's blatant racism. And I just sat there like stun-locked. I was like, what? And I'm sitting in my head, I'm like breezing through the game, and I'm like, what are they talking about? And I replied to their comment, and I'm like, hey, you know, as someone who played through the whole game, I truly, honestly, have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I don't know if you're just trolling or what, but I responded. And they replied with quotes from the girl at the beginning that said, the old white dude. And I was like, oh, that? I was like, okay, look, honestly, I forgot about her. She's only in the game like 5 or 10 minutes, like the tutorial. And you don't really see her much after that. She just stays in town. And after, like, you know, you separate from her, you're just fighting monsters. You're not really talking to people that much. And on top of that, I don't even think those comments were racist. She just said old white guy. So, I mean, if in a few years someone calls me an old white guy, I'm just gonna laugh. Like, I don't think it's that bad. And they're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll give the game another try. I thought I was stuck with her the whole... So I think this person played, like, less than the tutorial, saw her, was like, oh man, this is racist. And it was just a weird experience today. It was truly a weird experience. Like, someone said, that's like someone saying Dark Souls is racist. I was like, what? Yeah, like... Yeah, anyway, this lady saying my sort just made me flash back to that weird conversation I had this morning on YouTube. What's your trade?
Let me show you.
I don't need any of that. Okay.
Pleasure doing business.
Yeah, pleasure buying nothing.
Can't believe I got kicked out of a temple.
Okay. I think I had... Where was the big quest? Find the entrance to Answer's... Yeah. Defeat Gortash. Free Counselor Floric. Okay. Racism of a sort toward tiefling is part of D&D. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that is in D&D, but you understand. I think you understand the connection my brain made there. Why is this bridge back up? I talked them into lowering this bridge before. Where does this take me? Find out. But yeah, dude, lots of fantasy video games have racism. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, yeah. Like, what is... I believe in Dragon Age, or the Dragon Age series. Like, lots of people just hate the elves because they've been at war for so long. They'll call them knife ears. In most fantasy games, dwarves and elves hate each other because they're like, you know, polar opposites. Tieflings in D&D, I mean, yeah, even if you got a good tiefling, like, their whole race are basically like half demon. They've been, you know, they literally just pop out of hell. People don't trust them at all. Elves of Dragon Age are also known as rabbits. I don't recall that at all. I think you just made that up. Bass... Wait. Is she in her underwear too? Oh my god. This is such a weird bug. It doesn't happen to Gale. It's just some members of my party just change to their undies anytime we leave camp. And I don't know why. I am trying to... Is it just me, or does this party window feel like you're fighting against something when you're trying to fix it? Ah! Alright, go to Worm's Crossing from this side. There's a noble in DAI that calls them bunny rabbit while trying to get an elf quizzle to help them. I mean, maybe that's just a quirk from one NPC, though. Like when someone's like, oh, honey bunch, you know? I wouldn't just immediately assume that everybody calls them honey bunch. Okay, I'm back on the correct side. What, why, and also, why? Is it 'cause I entered from this? See, again, it's weird that the bridge was up. But I saw, I was like, okay, I'll just waypoint to the other side and come from the opposite direction. I've already been given permission to come through here. Unless Gortash told them to, like, kill me on sight or something. Which I wouldn't put it past him. What are we wild shaping into today?
Taking position.
I don't want to make the fog cloud, so I'll just move. Actually, I can dash as a bonus action. That might let me get in range to Bad Omen. There we go.
Time to push my luck again.
Not enough movement. Alright, just shoot it. Like, being honest, I love the game, but there's a lot of bugs that people are not talking about. I really would love for more AAA games to have this kind of quality, but there is a lot of bugs. I feel like my game has been almost bug-free. Like, my game has been almost bug-free up until Act 3, and then there's a ton of them. And some of it is not bugs, but UI design. So I can't say, like, this is broken, but I can say, like, if I'm being fair, I can say, I wish they had designed this better. For example, the elevation thing. If any of you have fought in a building in this game with multiple floors of a house, I need to be able to take the camera and move between those floors. I cannot currently. I'm pretty sure in DOS 2 you could, which was their previous game, so I'm surprised that they didn't make that in. But, you know, that's constructive criticism. That's not me saying this is broken.
With haste.
But yeah, I think, like, considering the sheer number of, like, factors in this game, like the staggering amount of things that happen in this game, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that some stuff got through, and I hope that they are working on that. I hope they are working on that. I will need to do a long rest before fighting this boss. About the UI, you can't see how a class advances in game. That's a pretty serious drawback. I agree. So Ring Song, on that note, Pathfinder, Kingmaker, and Wrath of the Righteous. Let's say you are level 5 fighter and you're thinking about putting one level in Monk. You can put a level in Monk, but before you hit confirm, it'll show you this is what Monk will get at level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 20 if you stay in this. And you can look at everything without having to pull up a wiki, and then you can hit cancel and put a different class there. I love that. Great UI in that regard.
Now this is my happy place.
And she's in her underwear. Again, did we just fix this? Is it because we zoned out? Whatever. All right, let's just up rank our spells really high to finish this fight, because we're gonna have to long rest before we fight the boss. Wow, very low roll. Oh, there's more coming. Act 3 also really because it was a part of the pre-launch public testing. Yes, I actually... 1 and 2, good lord. I actually said that last night on Twitter. I posted this. I said I'm loving Baldur's Gate, but the final act reminds me of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous' launch, in that it has more issues, probably least tested since Early Access didn't reach it, than the earlier acts by far for me. Looking forward to some patches to smooth it over. And then I showed a scene of me trying to click to go in a room, and the guy just goes upstairs and goes to the floor above it. And then the whole time, you see the chat log whizzing past, it's saying Candle is afflicted by burning 10,000 times in the chat log. So I've actually got 2 bugs happening on screen at the same time in this stupid clip. But yeah, I agree with you. Actually, I think Wrath of the Righteous' final act had it far worse than this game's final act. But yeah. Act 1 and 2 were really, really solid. Act 3 is still a great game, but it's very rough around the edges. Or I should say it's a bit rough around the edges. I think that's more fair. Like, I would say little bugs, like for example, when I'm in a cutscene and like I'm doing Speak with Dead and the person's floating and then they just suddenly snap upright, I think that's a little funny. It's just a visual bug. However, the one that bugged me the most was there was a hag fight where she had 4 mind-controlled people, and I made the fight way harder than it needed to be to use non-lethal damage to defeat every one of them, so they were all knocked unconscious, not dead. And then afterward, this guy was like, it's such a shame that we lost the captain. I was like, I just worked very hard to save the captain. She's alive. But the NPCs all just considered her dead. So I was super confused by that. Like, that was the biggest one where I did something and the game didn't register I did it, so I was very frustrated. Oh my goodness. What is this? A fire elemental. Just lost the free birds, so let's go ahead and resummon them.
Survival is all that matters.
Another little bug is sometimes, you know, while I was talking just a second ago, did you guys see that there was an enemy who was his turn? I think it was this guy, and he just kind of sat there derping around for like a super long time. Or like sometimes they take their turn and then there's like a very long delay before the next turn starts. Would love to see that corrected. Disadvantage? Why? Target too close.
No word.
Like, that specific spell that I just did, the animation of it is so long, it often takes a very long time before her turn is over. Minor thing. What on earth did you just rush attack in that direction? Alright, I know that this will hit Muck, but I think it's worth doing. They're trying to... Oh, they're counterspelling. Yeah, I can't stop it, but we can zap him a few times. I was trying to end her turn. I think I accidentally ended his, unless he was CC'd. What happened to me in a few fights down to one, Lae'zel, and her turn, the UI disappeared and I couldn't end the turn. Yes. I've had that issue too, and both times I had it, people in chat were like, oh, the Lae'zel bug. So apparently that one's been floating around 2 times, only twice in almost 70 hours. Hold on, let me get the accurate number. 79 hours. In 79 hours, there's been 2 times Lae'zel had lost her UI and I had to hit save, reload, and that fixed it. Again, annoying. I hope they fix it. I don't hate the company for that. Like, that's... right now, right this second, you see this? We just stared at that guy for like maybe 10 seconds. That's something I would like to see fixed. We want to counterspell that. That might be the one thing I love about having a caster in the party is the counter spells. Mass Cure Wounds. I saw concentration broken on Crusader's Mantle, so they apparently had a buff and they all just lost it. Ooh, volley. Ooh. My goodness. Nasty stuff. Yeah, even though we just resummoned them, we just lost one, so summon them again.
Can't even catch my breath.
Counterspelled my barrage.
Death is but a word away.
Okay. We do not have a lot of spell slots left. What did this new staff have? Blight and Topple. Where's the Blight? What does it look like again? Like a green skull thing. I don't see it. Maybe I have to rest before it shows up? I do not see it. Oh, hang on a second. Let's turn our sorcery points into one more big spell slot. And then upcast this cloud of daggers so it does like way more damage. Alright, that's his last fancy spell for now.
What's this?
Can I fix her pajama thing? There we go. I don't know why that keeps happening. Alright, this archer lady rocked us last time with her barrages, so let's put the moonbeam on her. Okay. Move these spreading spores to her. And both of those attacks do damage again at the start of the next turn. I love them. Now, the good part is I've done the quest that disabled all these bots, so they are not coming after me. He slipped in the ice. Oh, entangle from the attack of opportunity. Nice. I think this dude's just been standing here striking a pose the whole fight, chat. Fist Sarek. What's your character's AC? I think 23 without buffs. I've stacked up as high AC as I possibly could find. Yeah, 23. $200 XP, one of them went down. Dang it, she lived. What is that? Dude, she can just use that every turn? That's crazy. Let me just resummon these fourth time.
Let's go.
Trying to parse the numbers of this game coming off Wrath of Righteous with 60 plus. I know you can get over 30 with a bunch of temporary buffs, but I do mean temporary.
No time for mercy.
Stop, you guys are gonna run into the AoE.
Which way to the nearest library?
I've got a long...
Okay. You seem to be fine as is. Yeah, I actually just learned in like the last couple of sessions to not use charm that much on Muck. Because if Muck's reaction charms someone, you know what happens?
Hello, Mr. Baldur.
They will run and attack a different party member. And he's the one with the high AC, so I don't want to make them go attack a different party member. What was that? Baldur? Mr. Baldur. Someday, I'm sure. Ein fact alu. Thank you. Welcome. Mukluk Douglas thought to be original Discord the 4th. This is Johnson Red the 3rd. Welcomes you back to the lab. Hope you enjoy your Saints entertainments on the way. Crank up the speakers, talk to the speakers, giveaways every week. Please take a seat, but you'll only need the edge. Welcome. Thank you for the support. Spicy shrimp soup. Are you telling me a shrimp spice this soup?
Can't slow down.
Turn off Moonbeam.
Story.
It's off.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
You are in a danger zone. Oh my god. Okay, here. The bridge is safe, apparently. Alright. Let's go rest.